Well, hello there, Sagittarius. Cards are already pre-shuffled, so we're just going to get right to it. I keep trying to perfect where to put the camera, and doing better all the time. Let's see. Interesting cards coming up. You know, I noticed earlier somebody was getting all these cards that all had yellow backgrounds, and it looks like you have blue, pretty much. Well, a couple of grays too, but no yellow backgrounds. Interesting. I mean, I'm not saying that it's good, bad, or it just was an interesting. It was just something that I noticed that was interesting. So you start off with my favorite card of all time. It's the Six of Cups. It's unique in its nature. It kind of reminds me of the yellow rose of Texas, which is the deepest kind of love of all, and yellow is a type of friendship, and it goes deeper than the red rose. Well, I mean, that's all debatable, but the concept of what it stands for has always touched my soul so strongly. And when you have that kind of connection, it's like before there were before there were all those extra boundaries and life lessons that kept you from connecting on that soul level that you can when you're little kids, right? Don't you wish you could still have some of those kind of connections? And if you still have them, good for you. And but that's why I love it. And it speaks to me that perhaps you knew each other in another life, or you knew each other at a younger point in your life, or that you just you meet on that level, on that where you just understand each other on that level where there's just almost no words necessary. But it is for me the ultimate soulmate card. What you're dealing with, whoever you're thinking about when you're listening to this reading, it's your soulmate. Now, whether or not it's going to work out, that's always a big question, because sometimes we're here to be a catalyst for each other, all kinds of things. Well, there's different takes on what soulmates versus twin flames, and I'm not going to get into all that. You go ahead, and if you feel I'm talking about twin flame, then you can apply it as a twin flame energy. I'm not going to go by any particular definition, because only you know when something applies. All right. The Lover's card is also a soulmate card, and it's a very strong card because it's, you know, the major arcana. And while there are other cards like the Judgment that implies starting over again with your soulmate, the Lover's card of all the major arcana, I'd say, is the strongest. And it should be stronger than this card. It's just my personal preference to see that level. But the Lovers, I mean, I guess you could see, you know, they're kind of like Adam and Eve-ish, so they're almost childlike in that sense. So maybe there is some similarities to that card now that I see them juxtaposed by each other. But you see, the Divine Feminine is looking into higher realms, right? And the Divine Masculine is looking here towards what's actually here in front of him or her. You know, it's a masculine energy, but it's not a gender. So there's always this like divine comedy of conflict between these two, right? I've never phrased it that way before, but it just seemed, it almost seemed comical, you know, all the things that can go wrong about the male and the female misunderstanding each other. But I think it's in those differences that, you know, we find the fascination and drawing towards each other, sort of like a yin and a yang, but yin and yang, not one not being black or white, just being two types of energies, right? That are drawn to each other. And I understand that that's not the typical way you see. I see things. I see connections between oranges and apples, and it is just seeing a nuance and a depth in life that some people may not follow me completely on. And if you don't worry about it. Okay, got a lot of wand energy here. Not surprising. since you are a sign of wands, you have the queen energy. So you definitely, it's so funny because you definitely want to feel, so what's the word for it? You want to be attractive. You want to be the magnetic one, and you are, but you are mostly focused on your person as opposed to the world at large. And we'll get to the page in a moment, but there is a verticals here that I find quite interesting that I will get back to. I see you in this endless struggle. This is another card that suggests that whoever you're thinking about is your soulmate, because this infinity symbol is something that you just you're never going to get out from making a decision, how to weigh all the considerations and look at all the resources, be they love, coin, or otherwise, because this person is that important to you. You feel your person maybe not giving of themselves in a fair way, maybe perhaps giving you more attention than is due, considering what you're giving. See, and even though this is a Pentacles card, there's a sword, a Libra type energy here of being fair, and you see your person not quite being able to attend to the priorities on in a level that makes sense to you. So I think that maybe you think they're giving you a little more attention than you deserve. Now, I'm not saying that you are bad and don't deserve attention, but all things being equal and in weighing different considerations. Okay, now we get to this page, because we already know that you're a queen, but you're also, I think there's something about this person that makes you want to look at all these things that you're passionate about life as in a new way. You're seeing it through childlike eyes. Maybe you've become jaded in your approach to, or your experiences through life. And now this person is awakening something in you that feels like it's being born all over again. Yes, you're a queen, but this person is bringing out that childlike wonder. You see them willing to move any obstacle in the way out of the way to find a way to you. But you don't see them actually taking actions of offering something stable or offering any passion. But here's the thing, I did notice, the wands in this vertical row, and I think that that you need to approach them, because they may not feel comfortable. They might be wanting to give it more attention than it should have, but they're not sure how to approach it. So you're going to have to be the one to approach it. But here you are, in your overall energy. You see what's going on here? This is not, to me, the miser card. I know some people think it is, but what I see is someone who people have taken from you. I think you're a giving person, but you've had enough. So much has been taken from you, and people are probably still trying to get in your wallet, and it's not just your wallet, it's your time, your attention, your resources of all kinds, right? You probably want, you're a Sag, okay, so you probably want to be left alone a lot of the time. I have so much Sag in me. I'm half Sag myself, so I know what that's like. I could let the whole world go away, and I'm not sure that if I got stuck on a deserted island that I'd ever really be all that unhappy about it. So anyhow, I am exaggerating. I'm sure there's a point where I would definitely like my person to be there with me, but I digress. Okay, so but Sag, this is you saying, you know what, I need to just hold still. Let me just look at what I have. Let's just appreciate what I have. I'm not making any moves right now. And Yeah. I don't see you making any moves. I see you knowing a lot of things. But, and your person's not making any moves either. But you know your person is moving everything out of the way to get to you. So maybe you need your person to make the moves. But then how do you know that they feel this way about you? Maybe the moves weren't strong enough. Okay, well, let's just see what your person has to say. I'm going to move this reading over. As I don't get rid of them anymore, I have another deck of cards that's pre-shoveled that I can just immediately, I'll just cut once and start laying out. This is from your person's perspective. A lot of strong cards here. A lot of strong cards. Okay. And overall energy. Your person's willing to work on it. Your person's for real. I don't know if that's something that matters to you, but I don't think that this card would have come up unless you wondered about it. Is your person for real? Oh, hell yeah, they are. They're not fucking around. They want to be right for you. But are they what you want? I mean, I think so. Based on the cards that I saw from your perspective, it sounds like it. You're a little worried that they're kind of set in their ways and they're not going to change. But you do see them as your wish fulfillment. Definitely want them then. Okay. So you just want to know if they're for real. Okay. All right. You would actually fight for this connection for them. Who are you need to fight for it though? Why is that anyone's business? Well, maybe you're worried that it has to be everyone's business, and sometimes it is. Maybe you have friends in common. You do see yourself coming into union. You're afraid of starting over. So you've had okay, have we not? Yeah, we've seen tons of soulmate cards, but here I was talking about the judgment card also being a soulmate card in the major arcana, and here we are. And as you know from my readings, if you've ever seen my readings before, you know that I don't see opposites. I see potentials, things to avoid, blah, blah, blah. But the energy is here on the table. The actual energy in the upright is on the table. It's just not being representative as moving forward. So you're afraid of starting over. But I think you're not sure about how to get anything started either. So let's see what's going on. It's neither starting over or getting started. Don't tell me you're stuck on the idea of getting started. Okay. Who knows? Maybe it's just the world we live in. It's so hard to make any plans these days. I don't know if that's going to stay that way or what. This is a timeless reading, though, even though it's this week. At the time you're watching this, it might apply to you at any given moment. You see them as a Page of Pentacles. So you do see your person as very practical. They are actually pretty practical. So what are you worried about? Okay. So, they see it with a childlike innocence. So maybe that's what it is. I think you're a little worried that they're kind of new at being practical, that they're not stable in that energy quite yet. They haven't moved up to king or queen status in that pinnacle area. And you, just like the judgment, okay, you're like afraid of starting over, and you're a little bit afraid of moving forward on any level. Wow, why? Well, let's look at the King and Queen of Cups. I kind of wonder who these two are, that they are right next to each other, a queen and a king. I mean, I know it's not male or female in either case, but they are, kind of they're the energy of, the lovers, that type of thing, right? So the first card, generally when there's a match set, I see the usual, where that's the person who I'm speaking for. So your person sees themselves as a Queen of Swords. That's an air energy. You might be dealing with, you know, an air energy like Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra, but not necessarily. It's just somebody in those energies, right? And they they see you as a King of Cups, which is a water energy. So I don't know, maybe you have a strong water energy, perhaps in your I don't know, your probably, I would say, Venus placement. So this is love reading. But anything's possible. Just sometimes I feel strongly when I see certain energies that we could be talking about some particular elements or signs. Okay, so Queen of Swords is keeps her own counsel, or his, keeps their own counsel. They are very, they do need other people. They're not like the king that is just like could totally be on their own, you know, very Sagittarian like, you know, totally like, I don't need anyone. But this queen is not willing to forego truth and whatnot for the sake of partnership. But what this queen offers is very real. And what your person sees you as is someone who doesn't need anybody. Emotionally, you have your needs taken care of for one reason or another. And you have enough to give people, but you're not all that interested. You have a lot of love inside you. I think your person knows that, you know, whatever you're hiding, there's so much love underneath. And maybe your person sees you as that diamond in the rough that no one else sees the way that your person does. All right, well, let's see what the romance angels have to say about this, Sagittarius. Let's see. I probably didn't need to shuffle again, but I just did. Sometimes I just go with it. All right. Express your love. Well, have we not been talking about this? The whole problem of how are we going to start? If you're not going to move forward, you don't want to start over. You don't see your person making the moves, right? So how do we get to this point? Okay, if there's love here, how do we get to expressing it? Very soon. Okay, well, I'll hold you to that. I can't wait to hear your stories. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to pull a card to find out who's gonna make the move, because you guys seem stuck. You know who's gonna step up first, calling in your soulmate. All right. Well, you know what? I think this qualifies as the strongest soulmate reading I've ever done. There's so much soulmate energy on this table right now that I feel like I can't even, you know, when the wind is pushing so hard you can barely move forward. Okay, that's how strong of an energy that's flying at me that I can barely stand straight. Let me tell you, you guys are something. What is the hold up? You know, that's so funny because I'll listen to other tarot readers and I always hear them talking about this, and I haven't seen that come up in the readings, but here it is. You know, like, what's the problem, you guys? All right. So, I just want sex, but I'm open to more if we really connect and I become drawn to relationship. You know, it sounds about right. I mean, you're very interested in being on your own, but I think that with the soulmate energy, you want to come into union. You know, you feel like this, right? Here, let's just put these here to cement the point in here. You know, you're fine on your own, and you're starting to realize that your person is capable of putting in the work to do something for real. So you're thinking to yourself, okay, I want to dip my foot in the water. I want to enjoy this, but am I going to get into some type of a mess that I'll regret I got into, and this and that? And that's what I think is really holding you up. It's just you're afraid of making a mess. So you're going to have to tread lightly. But anyhow, that's probably why you're thinking about the sex. But let me see if I can pull a card or two that might help us, or whatever the spirit guides want to tell us. Oh, we have a flyer. So I'm going to say whatever that is about is definitely the situation. You guys are going to have to fight to be together? What are you guys fighting? What? Why is it such a struggle to be together? What? Okay. Well, that's the most positive, strong card you can get. You're going to have to fight for the sun to come out. Okay, well, how about something a little more practical? Can you, spirit guides, can you tell me something a little more practical? Oh, be sneaky about it. Okay, maybe it's something we need to... Okay, we need to look at this in a new way here. Okay, I'm starting to see the picture here. This kind of went sideways, and I can see how that could be a sideways. You don't want to get into a fight. There's this fight here, right? We don't need that fight. Okay. Willing to fight for it, but I think that there's going to be people who will be put off by you two getting together. Don't know why, but it's going to put somebody's panties in a bunch, or something like that. Sorry, I don't use language without being very considerate of when I'm making certain statements that use a little off-colorness to it. I generally am not that person, but when I really feel something strongly, yeah, I throw it out. So just be aware that I don't judge myself for wanting to impress a certain point enough to take it to that edgy, slightly tawdry way of looking at something, right? Okay. I think that what the spirit guides are saying is that you guys are beautiful together. This is it, the complete sunlight on this. This is great. But you're going to have to sneak around for some reason. So, sneak around. I guess one of you guys have to figure out how to make that move. Alright, well, good luck with that, Sag. And let me know if this is your story. If it's not, please don't hit dislike. Please take a look at your Venus placement. Also, whatever, if you add up all your elements and you find that you have a stronger element than fire, which is what a Sag is, look at the signs with that element, and you may be feeling stronger in those particular elements. Okay. All right. Until next time, I'm glad we had this time together, Sag. And don't forget, hit like and subscribe otherwise.